Hi and welcome again. My name is Helmut Ziegel, and in today's video I'm going to talk about a good testing practice, which is the following. Always test one behavior at a time. Why is that so important? It's important because if you have multiple behaviors tested in one test, which means that you will have multiple assertions for different behaviors, then when one of them fails, the rest of the code will not be executed. So you will not get any feedback about the rest of the behaviors if they would have been succeeded or failed. Now let's switch to the IDE and see an example. So here we are in the IDE. We have a password validator class with a single validate method, and the policy for a valid password is the following. The minimum length of the password must be 8. It must start with an uppercase, must contain at least one number, and cannot contain the star character. Here are the test cases. So we have some passwords and we validate them with the password validator. And yeah, empty password, for example, is invalid. This is also invalid, but this is a valid password. This is invalid. This is also valid. Now let's run the test and see the results. Okay, so we see that the tests passed. Now let's change a bit the password validator, and we will extend with the following that cannot contain the open bracket character. Let's switch to the tests and run again. So we see that the test failed because we have here an open bracket. If we go to that line, what the console output also says, we see that, yeah, we have here an open bracket. So we have to remove that. Now let's run the test again. And it failed again because we have here too an open bracket. We have to remove and run again. And now we should also extend the test. Another case where this is an invalid test, and run the tests again. Okay, so all the tests passed. Now we've seen that this isn't a good approach, that we have a lot of cases in one test, so we have to split them up. So I split it up the tests. First of all, I want to show you that I just commented out the check for the open bracket because I want to be sure that after splitting up the tests, everything works exactly as previously. So there are multiple possibilities to split up the test cases, and one of them is to have separate method for each test case. And this is a possibility I don't like that much because it is too long and it's hard to be sure that each test case is covered, but it's still better than having all the cases in one single test. So in this case, I will get instant feedback for the cases where the test fails. Another possibility is to use this feature from JUnit, the assert all, which will execute each assertion separately, independently from each other. So even though the first fails, for example, the rest will be executed. So you will get feedback about each assertion. The third possibility is using parameterized tests. Here I just specify the passwords and the expected results, and that's what I test here. Now let's run all the tests and see the results. Here's the result of the test execution. This is the initial case I already talked about, so we get only information about the first failing case. With parameterized test, we get information about two cases, so the fifth and the ninth case failed. The validate with assert all also has separate output for the failing cases, so we see all the failing cases. And the separate method for each case also has information about the separate cases that fails. All the presented possibilities are much better than having all the test cases in a single test. Choose the one that fits the best your needs, but what I never recommend is having all the test cases in one single test.
Thanks for watching my video. I hope you learned something and I wish you a very great day.